apologies for the technical hitch. I'd like to thank you all once again for joining us this afternoon in this service of remembrance. And we'd like to begin with our Christmas message from our Chief Executive, Rami Okasha.
Hello, I'm Rami, the Chief Executive of CHAS. And on behalf of everyone at CHAS, welcome to the Candlelight Christmas service. We're joined today by many CHAS families, volunteers, supporters and staff. We've come together to celebrate Christmas and to look forward to the new year. Christmas is a special time of year, but it can also be a hard time of year. So remember that the teams at Rachel House and Robin House are here for you today. They're only a phone call away if you would like to have a chat. Christmas is a time of coming together, but it's also a time of reflecting and looking forward. From me to you, I wish you a very happy Christmas and a very peaceful New Year.
This reading is from the book of Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 to 2 and 9 to 11. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem village, Judah territory, this was during Herod's kingship, a band of scholars arrived in Jerusalem from the east. They asked around, "Where can we find and pay homage to the newborn King of the Jews? We observed a star in the eastern sky that signaled his birth. We're on a pilgrimage to worship him." Then the star appeared again, the same star they had seen in the eastern skies. It led them on until it hovered over the place of the child. They could hardly contain themselves. They were in the right place. They had arrived at the right time. They entered the house and saw the child in the arms of Mary, his mother. Overcome, they kneeled down and worshipped him. Then they opened their luggage and presented gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Stars, which draw us to lift our eyes to the night sky to see them shining, have inspired many poems and stories. Our first poem this afternoon is Twinkle Twinkle, which helps us to reflect on the pain we feel when our child dies. Twinkle Twinkle will be read by Peter Hay.
Hello. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, so swiftly here and gone. You left behind such heartache when your time on earth was done. For you were very precious, but your stay was all too brief, and Christmas time without you will be tinged with pain and grief. And yet it's comforting to know that we will always be connected by a bond of love for all eternity. You see, the love you left behind forever will shine on, and the brightest star this Christmas time will be yours, my precious one.
Today we light the candles in our wreath. The 4 Advent candles symbolising hope, peace, joy and love, and the 5th candle for Christmas Day. And as each candle is lit, we acknowledge the loss and the sorrow that brings us here this afternoon. We remember those we have loved and remember all we've lost. We light our first candle for hope. We remember all that we've looked forward to and hoped for. And we remember those times where we've lost hope. We remember the people who have made us hopeful in the past and those whom we still hope for now. We light this candle for ourselves and for one another, in the hope that we can find some new light in the darkness. We light our second candle for peace. We remember when we felt most at peace in our lives and the times where peace seems to have left us. We remember those we know are at peace now and the pain we feel without them. We light this candle for ourselves and for one another, that we might know the peace of God guarding us this day. We light our third candle for joy. We remember times of laughter and celebration and those who were its reason. We remember the sadness we hold when others seem to be happy round about us and the emotions we conceal. We light this candle for ourselves and for one another, that we might find joy in the small things. Fourth candle for love. We remember those who we have loved and those who have loved us in return. We remember that death does not separate us from the love of God or the love of another. Love is never in vain. We light this candle for ourselves and for one another, that we might know that we are loved and that God makes his love known again in the Christ child this Christmas time. We're now going to light the final candle in the centre of our wreath, known as the Christmas candle or Christ candle. And as we light this candle, we remember all who gaze into the night sky in longing and in hope, all who listen for angel song. And we pray that this light would also kindle a flame of hope within our own hearts. the memory Christmas tree. There was once a fox who lived with all the other animals in the forest. Fox had lived a long and happy life, but now he was tired. Very slowly, Fox made his way to his favourite spot in the clearing. He looked at his beloved forest one last time and lay down. Fox closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and fell asleep forever. Everything around Fox was still and peaceful. Snow began to fall, gently covering him with a soft blanket. Owl had watched Fox from the top of his tree. He flew down and landed next to his friend. Owl was very sad. He had known Fox for a very long time. But Owl knew the time had come for his friend to leave. One by one, Fox's friends came to the clearing. First squirrel and weasel, then bear, deer and bird, and finally rabbit, mouse and others came to sit by Fox. Fox had been loved by everyone. He had been kind and caring. No one could imagine life in the forest without him. The animals sat in silence for a long time. Owl was first to speak. He smiled warmly and said, "I remember when Fox and I were very young. Every autumn we raced to see who could catch the most falling leaves." The other animals remembered and smiled. Mouse said softly, "I remember how much Fox loved the sunset. He always sat at the exact same spot." The animals remembered. Many of them had joined Fox watching the sun going down. It was a happy memory, and their sad hearts filled with warmth. Bear remembered how Fox had looked after her cubs one spring. Rabbit smiled when she told the story of how Fox had played tag with her in the tall grass. Squirrel talked about Fox helping him dig up and bury nuts in the snow last winter. One by one, the animals remembered their favourite stories about Fox. Fox had touched the lives of all the animals in the forest with his warmth and kindness, and they all smiled, remembering. While the animals talked, a little orange plant grew out of the snow where Fox was lying. Small and delicate at first and hardly noticeable, the plant grew bigger and bigger and stronger and more beautiful with each story. The animals talked about Fox all throughout the night. And in the morning, the little plant had grown into a small tree. The animals saw the tree and knew that Fox was still part of them. During the next few days, weeks and months, the animals remembered many stories about Fox. Their heavy hearts began to feel lighter. The more they remembered, the more the tree grew. Higher and higher and more beautiful until it was the tallest tree in the forest. A tree made full of memories and love. Fox's tree was big and strong enough to shelter all the animals. It was always buzzing with life. The birds built their nests among the leaves and Owl raised his grand chicks on the branches. Squirrel found a cosy home in the trunk and bear, deer and rabbit slept in its shade. The tree gave strength to everyone who loved Fox. And so Fox lived on in their hearts forever. Robin House Activities Coordinator is going to lead you now in an activity to show you how to decorate and create your own memory Christmas tree. A tree full of love and precious memories.
Hello everyone, just like Amanda's story, we're going to make our special trees of memory. To do this at home, you're going to need some paper. It doesn't matter if it's white or coloured. A pair of scissors, a normal pen, something to stick it together, so some sellotape and maybe some glue. You also might want something to decorate with, so some colouring pens, pencils, crayons, glitter glue, paint, whatever you've got at hand and you feel comfortable using. Once we've gathered all these together, what we're going to do is take our paper. Mine is already been cut into strips. It's a wee bit big, so I'm going to cut it down the middle. So you just want nice long rectangular sized strips. There we go. Then if you've got, a bit like me, with two different colours, it doesn't matter what side you're going to use next. However, if you've got one that's maybe got a white side and then a different colour on the opposite side, you're going to want to put the colour side face down so you've got the white side facing up. We're now going to take a wee minute to think about our lovely memories we've got and choose one or two that you feel you'd like to write down on your strips of paper. You're just going to write it in the middle. Once you've done this, all we're going to do is turn your bits of paper the other side round. So if you were using the white bit, you're going to put the white bit to the bottom with your message on it, and that leaves you colour side up so you can decorate however you'd like to decorate. Once you've done this, all we're going to do is turn it back round so your special message is on the inside, and we're going to loop it round so your pattern is on the outside, and these two bits are just going to stick together. I'm going to use the sellotape, but you maybe want to use glue. I'm just going to wrap it around the middle. Now it's stuck together. You might have more than one. You might have a few of you there, so use one like I made earlier. So once all your special memories are pinned together, you can place them gently on your tree. There might only be a few of you. In that case, you might want to drop them down like this and place them vertically, like snow falling down on your tree. And there you've got your unique memories for your lovely memory tree.
And now some words for prayer or reflection. At this time, when all around us seems to remind us of what is missing, we bring our aching hearts to God. Whenever we know darkness, may new light shine on us and guide us forward. We think of our family and friends and all who need to know a healing touch in their lives this Christmas time. For the gift of life, our lives, and those loved and lost, we are grateful. For memories created and cherished, we are thankful. For the promise of a future, different and changed, and not as we dreamed, we remain hopeful. This Christmas, may we know that our prayers, our hopes, our thoughts, our dreams our missed and loved ones, are held safe by God for all time. Amen.
I'd like to invite you to now light a candle at home with me. Each lit candle we're about to share represents a child we remembered at our Chaz Remembering Day service earlier this year, and all the children who have died since. Please join me in lighting a candle as we remember our children and loved ones together. In the rising of the sun and at its going down, we will remember our children and loved ones. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we will remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we will remember them. In the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, we will remember them. In the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of the autumn, we will remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember them. By lighting these candles today in this place, we will remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are part of us as we remember them. Just before I say the words of blessing, I'd like to remind you that we're here for you if you feel you'd like to talk or you need support. You can either call Rachel House or Robin House or contact us through the website, and we will call you back. I discovered recently that today is Worldwide Candlelighting Day, and it's a virtual 24-hour global candlelighting event symbolising compassionate support for each other by families grieving the loss of a child. And it's believed to be the world's largest candlelighting ceremony. So with this in mind, I'd like to invite you to take a photograph of your candle and share it in memory of your child or loved one on social media after the service. You may be remembering your child, your grandchild, your brother or sister, your cousin. You may be remembering a parent or a grandparent. or a friend. Whoever you're remembering today, let us remember together. Now you'll find a Just Giving link in the candlelit service comments and event descriptor. Please attach the link along with your photograph and share it after the service. If you'd like to leave us some feedback on the service today, please click on the link in the comments. I'd like to now read out some comments that Alistair has been noting down throughout the service. And Robert Reynolds, it's lovely. Robert says that he's joined us today from Mauritius. Robert, thinking about you and your family and precious Hayley. A member of the care team in Robin House, Elizabeth Knox, says, thinking about all our babies and children and young people and their families. The staff at Chaz haven't forgotten about you. We remember. And Anna Lee says, beautiful service as always, in memory of our son, Ollie James, who passed away at Robin House on the 31st of December 2018. She says, 2 weeks old, my thoughts are with all the families at this hard time. And Jan Hayning, remembering our precious Alfie, miss you every second of every day. And Jan, we're thinking of you too and sending our love. Summer Packer says, a little love heart, Rowan Packer. Lindsay Drummond is remembering Evan, age 5, and Taylor, age 21. Lynn Easdale remembers Jaden. She says, Captain Jaden, who died on the 21st of May this year, aged 5 years and 2 months. Thinking of you all, Lynn. Tammy McCartney says, remembering Oscar James, age 13, who died in February 2016. Sorry, age 6, who died on the 13th of February 2016. Thinking of you, Tammy. And Gail Dickey, one of our charge nurses at Rachel House, says, beautiful music, songs and words to allow time to reflect on the precious children and their families that we have been honoured to meet and care for. Caroline Gilbraith says, remembering our beautiful niece, Fern Adger, 29th of April 2017, aged 8 months, and thinking of all the other families. And Caroline, we're thinking of both Bertie and Fern today, thinking of you all. And the McIver family, remembering our wonderful gift of a son, Aidan McIver. Lily MacDonald, remembering our beautiful Rowan. And Ailey, our activities team coordinator, says, beautiful service to reflect and remember the beautiful children that we had the privilege to meet. MM and AM says, remembering my nephew Darren Mackay. Love you forever, Darren. Ruth McMahon Downey, remembering Edward. Kyle and Morag Mackay, remembering Darren Mackay. We love and we miss you always. And Laura Walker, remembering Michaela Rose Sloan Walker today and always. And there's many, many more comments. You know, we've come together this afternoon and we've remembered our children and our loved ones. We've revisited our grief and shed our tears. But we've not finished. Our grief goes with us, whichever season of grief we may be in. Our children and our loved ones remain with us. They are in us and they are around us. They give us strength and they give us love. And now the blessing. The blessing of tears and laughter be ours. The company of friends and family be ours. The hope of budding trees and sunlight be ours. The wonder of twinkling stars be ours. The promise of sunrise and healing be ours. Ours today and every day. Let us go now into life and into love. Amen. Thank you for taking the time to join us in this service of remembrance. I wish you all love and peace this Christmas. Goodbye and God bless.